Not a problem. Okay, so we get this on the record. Retail Pro is not a problem. Is the retail management system. It's the best-in-class retail management system, and it handles your day-to-day business operations from a transactional perspective. You have all your documents, all your transactions, and you're down into the weeds of your transactional data. And Retail Pro is excellent at that. What Retail Pro Decision brings to the equation is the ability to have a view of your business from a business analytic perspective. It's a business intelligence tool. It's visual analytics that allows you to take action based on dashboards and analytics and the different information that the application can provide. So you have dashboards, you have analysis, you can have notifications, you can have reports, you can have storyboards, you can have alerts, and so forth. So Retail Pro Decisions allows you to have, for example, benchmarking your stores and salespeople, allows you to create alerts and notifications on any deviation of what happens in your business. You can review dashboards. You can send analysis via email to your exec team or whoever the person needs to be to make decisions, to help you to be able to provide that information no matter where they are. And you can create your own dashboards and your own analysis as you go. So Retail Pro Decisions allows you to run the solution on a computer, on the web, or on mobile devices. So it has like three flavors or three ways of actually getting to the data, making sure that everyone has the data that's necessary to be able to make decisions and analyze the information. And not only does this business analytic tool allow you to attach or read off of the Retail Pro database, but you can also attach to any other database or any other application. So whether you're using an external CRM, an external ERP, whether you were using, for example, something from Micros or something from Dynamics, we have the ability to attach other data sources with the Retail Pro data source and literally create one centralized view of your business, no matter where the data is coming from. Whether it's just Retail Pro or whether it's other databases also, we have that ability also to tie them all together and be able to provide you those dashboards and analytics. So I just wanted to start off with that quick introduction. And I'm going to go ahead and just dive into the application now. All right. Let me close this off. Okay, so when you launch up the application, you get a primary dashboard. This is the Retail Pro Decisions dashboard. It comes with a preset of analysis, which you can use, you can copy, you can tweak to whatever way you see fit. And besides these dashboards, there are other dashboards and other analytics behind each dashboard. So out of the box, it comes with a series of analysis which retailers use on a day-to-day business basis. So for example, there's the store dashboard, which would provide you sales, quantity, margin, location. You have a customer dashboard, which would provide you your basket size, average quantity, discounts. You have a sales overview dashboard, which allows you to then see your cost, quantity, revenue, number of sales. You have a vendor dashboard, which will provide you vendor contribution, department penetration. You have a product overview, which provides you key performance indicators, turn, quantity on hand, GMROI, sell-through. And we have a salesperson overview, your top 10 sales people, your bottom 10 salespeople, and so forth. So if I dive into this first dashboard, it brings me a quick view of my stores. I have a map. I've got my top 10 items, bottom 10 items, and all these objects, all these analysis interact with one each other. So, for example, if I wanted to see this brush jersey wrap dress in more detail, I can click on this, and all the other objects, all the other analysis change according to what I click on. So therefore, if I want to see what happened in more detail on my 10 a.m., I can click here and I can see the actual sales, net sales and margin at 10 a.m. for this women's department that I have here. If I just want to back out, I just close my searches, and this allows me to back out to my top view. I have the ability to filter on the top, very similar to Retail Pro with the quick filter options. So for example, I just want to see my Retail Pro business. And this is my Retail Pro subsidiary with all my stores in Retail Pro. I could also select it by customer, by store, and by time period. And you have the flexibility to change or add any of these quick filters, and obviously, as I mentioned before, also change the dashboards. Many of the dashboards, besides having a graphical view, have the ability to see it in a data view on a table. So for example, if I clicked on this icon, it takes me to the table view, and I can drill down into, for example, the women's department, check on apparel, check on dress, and go all the way down to the actual item. So it gives you this flexibility, and a lot of the dashboards and a lot of the analytics allow you to do this. You design them that way. You can either have them static or you can have drill down. It all depends on your needs and your requirements, and it allows you then to create these dashboards to provide you the exact information you need at the time you need it. Okay? So with this dashboard, I also have a sub-dashboard. So if I click on this little icon here, it takes me to another series of dashboards, which is just a seasonal analysis, which allows me to show me sales over month, sales over week, sales over hour. And again, if I click on any of the objects, it takes me into further detail of the object itself and all the adjacent objects. I'm going to back out here. And let's take a quick look at the customer dashboard. I just want to point out my data is bogus. I've got, sparse data. I just use it for demonstration purposes. This all comes from Retail Pro. So this, I don't sell every day, so a lot of the data is going to look kind of weird just because of my data and the bogusness of my data. But here you would have, for example, basket size, average discount, average margin. You see number of customers by store, margin by store. I also have a sub analytics. If I click on this icon up here, it takes me to my top 10 customers, my bottom 10 customers, my sales, number of invoices, and number of visits for each month for my customers and so forth. Okay, and again with my quick filters on the top. If I go back to the main dashboard, I have my sales overview dashboard. Here I can see information, for example, on my sales. I can see my revenue by store. Let's say I just want to see for a specific period of time. I can also choose for a specific period of time. See customers, by vendors, by my different salespeople. All of these analytics are out of the box with Retail Pro decisions, which you can then use, you can copy, you can change, and you can create your own, like as I said before. Under the vendor dashboard, here we have vendor contribution and vendor information telling you which of your vendors is providing you the most margin and which vendor is providing you the best and how your vendor is doing with your sales. And you can also create a report if you wanted to work with your vendors or pass it on to your team by clicking this icon here. I'm going to click on this icon. I'm going to fetch the data. It's loading the information into this report. And when it finishes loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I can now scroll through it, and it shows you all my different vendors and the different statistics for each vendor, which you could use when you're negotiating with them or when you're pushing a specific vendor with your sales team. Okay, I'm going to back out of here, go back to my homepage. I have a product overview where we have our revenue over time, revenue by department, what's up, what's down. I have a key performance indicator. I've got a sell-through, which is also by time frame, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Again, my data is kind of bogus, but all this information is available to you to be able to provide this information to your team. And last but not least, the salesperson overview, which allows you to see a dashboard of your top salespeople, your bottom salesperson, and what department is selling well, providing you the information to be able to work with your salespeople, motivate them, and get them to sell more. Now, all these analysis, if I go back to the first one, I'm going to open up here a little ribbon here. All these analysis can then be sent to your team. So for example, if I go over to File real quick, I have the ability to export this dashboard directly into a PowerPoint. So if I click on PowerPoint, it automatically brought the image to a PowerPoint. Or I could then save this to a PDF. Or I can then use this for a presentation. So it immediately allows you to export this data into a PowerPoint, into an email, into an image, allowing you to get this information to the right people at the right time. I can also trigger or schedule rather reports. At the end of the day, I want this analysis to go out to once every day, once every week. You can set up the time frame, you can set up the days of the week, what format you want it to send it out, who you want it to deliver to, all different emails, and you can then set this up, a scheduled job to provide your team with daily information or twice a day, whatever the time frame is. You can then set this up so that these jobs are scheduled and sent out to your team. Okay? I also have the ability to trigger an alert. So for example, if I'm looking at a specific quantity on hand, and you want, okay, if my quantity on hand for my Chicago store goes below 50 items, I want it to automatically send out an alert to my purchasing team or whoever you may decide to handle that. So you can also set up in specific agents monitoring that value or monitoring an object, which would allow you then to send out specific information based on an event. When something happens, when there's a deviation of data, whether it might be a below or above, or if it's 50 less or 100 less, you can set up the whole mathematics so that it automatically sends out an alert to the team and who needs to receive this information. Any questions so far?
Nope, I think that's really clear. We love that. Were there any drill downs that you specifically wanted to see, like deeper into product or deeper into customers? No, I think we got it. That's really awesome.
Okay. What I'd really like to do now is just real quick show you something that is what blows me away with this product. I've used a lot of business intelligence products, but this one, I think it stands out amongst all of them that I've seen before. This allows you to be really creative, whether you're technical or you're not. If you're a technical person or you have technical staff and they wish to create a new dashboard or a new analysis, they can do that by going to the analysis and then choosing from the database and choosing the field and dragging and dropping, which is fairly simple, to create these new objects, these new analytics. However, for personnel who's not actually that technical, they can use this wizard. I'm going to say, no, I don't want to save this. And this wizard allows you to create analysis dashboards in natural language. So for example, let's say I want to see my sales, my revenue, by department, my DCS, department, class, subclass, over a period of time. I want to see my quantity, and I want to see my stores. And just click enter. Natural language, and then the tool automatically builds something for me. And from here, now I can use some of the tools to actually play around with it, and without having to know any programming, literally create my own dashboards and my own analytics very easily. So for example, let's say, okay, this looks kind of cool, but I don't want this one. I have nothing to do with address, so I'm just going to get rid of address. So I just clicked and deleted that analysis. Maybe on this one's kind of cool. I got my stores, my quantity, my revenue, but I don't want my average quantity. So I can easily come up here, click on the object, and go to define, and over here, take off the average quantity. Refresh it. Okay, now that looks a little better. But maybe I want to have a percentage, my revenue percentage based on all my stores. So if I go over to calculations, I have here a series of predefined metrics, or I can create my own, and I have percentage. So I click on percentage, I choose which of the values, revenue, and now I have a percentage by store. Okay, that's kind of cool. Let's say
you determined right there, like sell-through instead of revenue, if you wanted to determine another metric, like you said?
Yeah, you could. You can create your own. I'll show you that in 2 seconds, not the sell-through, but at least the methodology to create more information. So okay. I'm kind of visual, so I want to make sure that if something's wrong, just by looking at this analysis, I want it to pop out at me. So I can go to advanced calculations. Oh, that's not what I want. In the background, I want to go here to properties and go to a color and gauge agent. I'm going to click on color and gauge. I'm going to choose my default fields, which I have on my report right now. I want it by revenue. And I'm going to say, okay, if this value is less than 1,000, I want to color the background cell to red. So now it jumps out at me. I can also say, okay, I want to have the mid one, so on the revenue. If the value is greater than or equal to 1,000, and the value is less than 2,000, I want to color the background cell yellow. And under the same logic,
it's not refreshing on our end, Rick. We can't see the color changes there. We're kind of stuck at the word color.
Okay, let's see if it refreshes. Today, it's been a nightmare with GoToMeeting. I don't know what's going on. Even with my colleagues in the office, we had a call this morning. It was just extremely slow. So let me just give it a moment to refresh.
Move your mouse just a little bit. I don't know if we're seeing any of the mouse movement. Nope, nothing right now. We're kind of hung right now for a minute. We'll figure it out.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing and then sharing again. See if that refreshes.
Oh, that's good. Perfect.
Okay, I stop sharing and I'm going to share again.
Actually, we didn't refresh.
No,
and I think I lost you. I don't see you on the GoToMeeting anymore.
We need to reconnect.
Oh, let us reconnect then. We'll be just a second here.
Not a problem.
Okay. Just help me out. What am I doing here? I can't do anything there, right? So I would go to.
Just click exit, I think, on the top there. Or yeah, so.
Oh, we don't want to do that?
No.
Sorry.
So you probably just want to exit this one and reconnect.
Okay.
You have the original connection information, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to
Yeah, beautiful, that's perfect. Just get that launched, so I'll take it right back in there. Rick, that looks great, by the way. I saw the original webinar, and it's come a long way. It looks really much better.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pleased with this. This really allows you to do a lot of advanced and simple. I mean, I can create reports with this. I can create this storyboards, which is like a PowerPoint, but you can add. It has the ability to voice over, and it's literally like a little movie. So you can create a storyboard, you can create PowerPoints, you can create traditional reports. It's extremely powerful.
Well, I like that you can get to it from an iPad. We just had a client asking if they can walk around their store with an iPad and browse reports, and this is the answer.
Yes, and I mean, we have this is Retail Pro Decisions, and we also have Retail Pro Prism Reports, which is also web-based. So there are alternatives based on what you actually need in your requirements. BHC are more than capable. These guys have been around longer than I have, and I've been with Retail Pro, 23, 24 plus years already, and they've been around before me. So I see you're still haven't been able to connect.
We're trying. I am on the internet, so it might be just.
Yeah, join meeting. Here it goes.
Here we go.
Log me in. Secure website. There we go. We're connecting now. Not sure what happened there exactly.
No worries. There you go.
Now we see the colors nicely.
All right. I think that was just
excellent
on our end.
Not a problem. So again, I'm kind of graphical. I like to see things in colors. And let's say I want to see this in a pie chart also. So I can just right click on this, go to data, edit, duplicate, and then instead of seeing it in a graph format, I can see it's going to look kind of funky, but as a pie chart. So now I have a pie chart. And there's so much power here. So for example, I have this quantity, revenue, average quantity. Let's say again, I don't want the average quantity. So I click on the object, I'm going to define and get rid of the average quantity. However, I wanted to be able to see a comparison of 2016 and 2017. I can easily just drag and drop, grab 2016, move it over here, and now I have 2016. Grab this over here, move it to the left, now I've got 2017. It's that simple. So now to answer your question about the sell-through, if I wanted to, I have the ability to add additional columns. So if I go to calculations and go to advanced calculations, I have the ability now to insert a new column. And up here, then I can literally enter the formula for sell-through or stock to sales or whatever the formula you may need for your key performance indicators, and literally calculate your own. So this one, let's just say for an example, I just want to call this one difference. I want to see the difference between 2016 and 2017. So then I just click on revenue for 2017 minus the revenue for 2016, just enter, and now I have a brand new column created on the fly. And that could have been your sell-through, that could have been your stock to sales, it could have been any metric you wanted very easily, and you can be as graphical. And here, as you can see, I also have the drill down. So for example, if I go to my women's department again, I can drill down into my different accessories or into my different departments. So it's really intuitive, it's really powerful and really flexible. And then I can go ahead and then save this off. I can save this off to my personal folder, or I can save this off for the team to be able to then export this, provide this information to any of my other associates or the executive team, whoever needs to have this information, whether it's on their iPad or on their iPhone, because there is an app that's available that you can download, which will allow you to run the Retail Pro Decisions app on an iPhone. Now, on the iPhone, you can't create anything. It's just pretty much for visualizations and seeing reports and being able to run them and see them. The actual creation has to be either done on the web view or on the desktop view, which I have here. So there's a lot of power. I mean, I could be here for another hour or two, but I just wanted to give you a sense of the flexibility and the benefits that you can receive from the Retail Pro Decisions platform. So if I back out of here and go to the home page, it's going to say, do you want to save this? I'll say yes. Excuse me. Let's say I want to save this to my personal folder and just put PhD. And now I have that dashboard saved away, those analytics that I can reference anytime that I want. Questions?
The time, can you hear me? Sorry, Rick. So the time frames, when you say you could look at this year and last year and even hourly or weekly, is it dynamic there? I mean, can I go in and just flip a calendar around and choose this date to this date, or does it have to be in a certain format, or what are the dates and how you can see data?
You take your pick. I mean, you literally have different ways to choose data by quarter, by month, so you literally go down. Obviously, I only have 1 day of data here. There's a lot of flexibility on how you want to choose the dates for any of your analytics.
Okay.
What's the app name?
The app, to go search the app if we want to take a peek at it on the, is it Target? Targit?
That is correct. That is correct.
Target. Do you have any questions, Craig?
No, I'm okay with it.
All right, that seems really clear, Rick. Thank you so much. And there's another shop, we wanted to record it just because there was another group that wanted to see that too. So thank you. If you wouldn't mind sending that to us, we'd sure appreciate it.
Not a problem. I'll let it render, and once I get it rendered, I'll get it over to you.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for taking the time today, and we'll reach out if we have questions.
Excellent. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Craig.
All right, talk to you.
Have an excellent day. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.